Today on Frugal It Out, we will be doing countertops. We are going to put cement countertops on our pre-existing countertops that we already have. Cuisine Henry Feather Finish. You can only get this at Home Depot. Lowe's doesn't sell this yet. I think Ardex is just about the same that you can get online, but I use Henry on my counters and it's worked great and it's held up for almost a year now. So we're gonna experiment on Chris's counters now. You'll need a sealant as well. This one goes first. It goes down into the counters, and then once it's fully dry, then this one on top. Now, I will caution you, this one is oil-based and this one is water-based, which I think is bad to combine, but for some reason it worked on my counters and I read it online too. So it's held up, so we're gonna do it anyways.
Step 1, tape off your tile. Step 2, make sure you protect your floors, so we put towels down. That's more once we get to the concrete and it drips. But you're gonna wanna rough up your counters. You can kind of skip the cleaning process because we're just gonna sand it up. We have 120 grit sandpaper, and then we're gonna go back over it with an old knife and kind of score it just so the concrete has something to really sink its teeth into and stick to. We just sanded the counters with 120, but then I went back over it with 60 sandpaper, and I did it this way and this way to really etch it in there so the concrete has something to stick to.
Okay, step 3, we are going to clean off the countertops that we just sanded, so we will use water first and then alcohol.
Step 4 is the fun part, it's the concrete. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 1 cup of the Henry Feather Finish and 1 cup of water. Put your water in first and then add in, and we just have an old cup and a pencil that we're stirring with, and it's gonna be about the consistency of peanut butter. So I like to work in small sections, and I spend a lot of time up front getting it really, really smooth as I possibly can with my putty knife, so that then I am not spending hours later coming back over it sanding. So that's my tip for you. So you just like this, mush it out. It's gonna take a little while to get it even, and then I'll come back over it to make it nice and smooth. So we have the first layer done. Looks beautiful. It's drying right now. And I didn't get concrete anywhere on myself except in my hair. So wear a hairnet, pull your hair back. I don't know.
Yes, if you have ridiculously long hair, always keep it up because
I saved Carissa. Her hair was like sweeping through. I'm like, no. We really took our time trying to make sure that there are no edges. And oh, actually I forgot this tip. Once it's set up a little bit, so this has probably been, maybe we did about 30 minutes ago, I can actually go back over with my finger if there's some really big ridges and rub it down. But I did my best to make it so there's no ridges at all. That's gonna save you hours later on sanding, even though it takes longer up front. And then at the end of, we use 1 cup of concrete to 1 cup water, and it did about a section this big, so you can plan for your counter. So we ended up doing 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 cups of the Henry's Finish, and at the end of each cup, when it was a little bit drier, we just like put it on your fingers and go in along the sides and rubbed it and kind of shaped it.
Okay, so I just finished my last coat of cement on top of the countertop. So this is a total of 3 coats. The top part of the countertops are dry to the touch, but you can see the backsplash is still a little wet. So I have to give it a full 24 hours to dry, and then tomorrow we will come through, sand it, and put a sealer on. All right, so today I went ahead and I taped off this saran wrap on the countertop to make sure that all the moisture was gone. I wanted to trap it in there and see if there was any condensation that happened on the saran wrap, but it looks like it's good to go. So today we get to start sanding and put the sealer on. Okay, so we're getting ready to sand, but I need to take the tape off of the backsplash, so I'm doing that now.
And I forgot to tell Carissa it's way easier to take it off before it dries. So you want it to like set up a little bit so it's your concrete's mostly dry, but if you wait too long, it starts ripping, just like you're saying. Which is okay, because we have a putty knife, so we can go back in and kind of chip away at it. It's just gonna take longer, so my bad. So for all the detailed edge work, I was using just a block. I'm sure I got it either at Home Depot or Lowe's. So Carissa is just taking a damp cloth, almost all the water squeezed out of it, and she's getting all the dust off all the surfaces.
I am putting the 511 impregnator sealer on a clean white rag. Just pour a little bit on there. Is that too much?
No, that's good. So remember, this sealer is what's going underneath the surface. That's why we're using 2 sealers, because one is filling in all the little holes that you can't really see but are down in there.
And then just go with a
You can do whatever. Actually, I just did like circles and stuff.
Okay.
So you just kind of want to like work it in to all the sides. This is really good because it prevents like stains. So I've heard like red wine stains and food stains. If something spills on your counter, it won't go down in to the underneath the surface. Yeah, so you probably want to aim for like, see how where it's dark gray? Like try to do that most places, because you know it's like really getting down in there. And then when we're done, we'll wipe it off. So if you want to refill your sponge.
Some more.
Yep.
All right, so we just impregnated my countertops, and hopefully we'll have baby countertops pretty soon, in about 9 months. But
actually, the wait time is 24 to 72 hours before we'll apply our second coat, our top coat sealer. So until then, it'll dry.
all right, so I have my countertops all taped off again because I'm getting ready to put my last coat of sealer on. It's the wet look sealer, so if I got any on my backsplash, you could definitely tell. And then I am going to use the Bare wet look sealer. With this sealer, you will want to mix it a little bit, but make sure that you don't mix it too quick because it will leave bubbles. And then when you brush it on, you don't want any bubbles on your concrete either, because then it will dry with bubbles in it. So make sure you paint it on really smoothly and try to get all the bubbles out.